So if you're like me or other people and you've been through traumatic experiences or you've had um, significant losses in your life, then it's hard for you to, somewhat kind of adjust to, normal life. Um, One thing I've always preached about is, finding a hobby, diving into things that make you feel whole as a person. Um, Me personally, I identify as a nerd. I understand what it means to be a part or be submersed into something as far as comic books and superheroes. For me, that is what comforted me in a time of need when I really needed it. Now we can make a case that um, everybody has a vice, whether it be smoking or drinking or whatever you fall into. Some people like to go box. Some people like to race cars. Some people like to make cars. Some people like to play video games. Um, my dad made a point last night, or he made he said something that made me think, and excuse me, he said that I should wait to get to where I'm going in life to start investing in comic books and stuff like that. Well, if I wait, then I'm wasting all that time of investing into my hobby, investing into a niche that I love so dearly, that it's really spoken to me over the last 3 4 years. Um, he's now There is a time and a place for it. I will mix in a little bit of what he said with what I'll say. He's right in the sense of don't waste all your time and energy and money, buying up comics, buying up games, buying all the things you want rather than buying the things that you need. Now, it might be I haven't went shopping for comics in like 2 weeks. Even then, I still have comic books I need to order, but at the same time, I know when I get my check, I have to be mindful of that stuff that I want to buy. Investing a little bit takes you a longer way. I'm not saying don't invest at all, but I am saying don't go out there and waste your whole paycheck on um on anything that you're involved in. I will say there are other ways to be involved within your niche without having to spend money within that time frame. YouTube is one of the best ways that I stay connected to my niche through watching videos and being a part of different communities. Facebook is a different way. I'm involved in different communities on Facebook that keep me up to date on the latest things that are going on as far as comic books, TV shows that deal with superheroes, movies, anything. Um, but overall, I will say that it's not so much when I say dive into a hobby, and I speak for people that have been through traumatic experiences that find themselves with idle time, who are lonely, who are who don't have a girlfriend, or who don't have a boyfriend, or don't understand the who don't go out, people who don't really just have a social life. Then it's important to find something that is fun and not so inebriating with the mind and body, something that is of a healthy matter. For me, it's always been comic books. It's always been superhero content. I can sit in my room and watch Disney Plus, the Marvel side of Disney Plus, or go on HBO Max and watch DC shows all day. But at some point, I have to understand that there are other things in life that I have to do, like go to work, work out, be sociable, still um, invest into my future, things of that nature. But I will say that my dad comes from an older generation that, you know, they just went outside and did their own thing. Well, I mean, I went outside and played too, but I would always come back to the same thing that I love doing, which I love playing video. I like playing video games. I don't have a game system now. So once one thing leaves, another one enters. I'm not saying that I won't ever have a game system again, but I am saying that at the time of need, when I was by myself down and felt alone, the one thing that I could run to was comic books and superhero content, and that's kind of what held me together. And you can kind of make a case that I do think in a sense of a comic book world, because it's helped me I mean, I'm not saying that real life, when real life situations happen, that I'm not taking it serious. But when you know you can switch your brain in between, then it helps with, with experiences of this life that have kind of left you drained a little bit. So for me, that's kind of how I found, my way back without, and I went, I tell anybody, like, it's not easy for everybody to go through what they go through, because people do have suicidal thoughts. People don't also always recover from losing a family member, losing loved ones, or, you know, whatever may have you. That's why I understand both sides of the plate, and I understand how people can fall off into addictions and just lose yourself within this world. And I advocate for um, mental health. I advocate for people that want to be better. I advocate for the nerds who feel left out. I advocate for people who feel like they don't have a purpose in this life. Me reading books, reading comic books, is kind of what's given me a new life, a new purpose to keep going. Because without it, I don't know where I'd be. I was fortunate enough to have the wherewithal to turn to something that was not so much of real life, but just knowing of what the characters represent and how they rose from the ashes, rose from great demise into, great people. Captain America wouldn't be Captain America, of course, without the super soldier serum, but even without that, it was already instilled in him that he had no quit. That he always had a drive to fight for people that couldn't fight for themselves. Well, that can be, or Spider-Man, who, Spider-Man is of great morality, and that is a case for everybody. Whenever, I felt down, and I've had money problems, and I've had situation after situation that just felt like the world kept beating me down. I always knew that I had, it's almost like a safe space for me. I always knew that, when I read these comics, hey, some of these dudes are going through the same things that I've went through. Um, I'm not saying that to compare yourself to them, or for people out there that watch this, for the nerds, speaking to nerds and the people who take their mental health seriously. Those are the people that I speak to. Those are the people that I try to advocate for, the same way that superheroes in the comics advocate for people that can't stand up for themselves. I try to advocate for people that, you know, want to be better in mental health, that want to find something to take their mind off of, everything in the world. Because it's so easy to fall off into everyday problems and everyday world situations. But it's for me, it's harder to, sit here and look at these comics knowing that everything in my life hasn't been going right. And I'm not saying don't ever take your mind off of what the world has to, what the world is going, what's going on in the world. But what I am saying is it takes nothing to crack open a comic book, or, whatever you read or whatever you like to watch. It doesn't have to be a comic book. It can be a, anime book, manga, whatever they call it. But my point that I'm trying to express is that we have to run to something, whether it be your religion, whether it be, you know, sports, just dive into something that makes you feel better than what you felt yesterday. Um, I think I think it speaks volumes for people who can rise up from whatever they've been through, and find a way to cope with that in a healthy way. Now, of course, we all have a vice at the end of the day. Most people like to drink, most people like to smoke. That's just never going to go away. Um, but what I am saying is take some of that time, take some of that energy, and invest it into something that you love, whether people talk shit about it or not. It's your thing, it's what you love to do. And I 100% advocate for people who want to do it. Now, as I say that, I'll say that it's not for everybody. Some things you have to learn to differentiate the two. You can't always, you can't walk around in this world and think, hey, I'm this person or I'm that person. Now we can take certain elements of what we learn and instill them in ourselves. And I do believe that. I do believe that we can embrace what Captain America stands for. We can embrace what Spider-Man stands for. We can embrace what Batman or Superman or, you know, the Avengers or X-Men or whoever you like stands for. But it has to be in a healthy manner. You know, don't go overboard and try to claw people's eyes out or throw shields at people or try to web anybody up. You know, that's not what I'm saying. I'm speaking more so when it comes to, you know, when you face hardships, um when you feel depression coming on, we have to find ways to combat the way we feel depressed or feel those down moments. Um, those are the things that I'm speaking towards. You know, the days that we don't feel like getting up and going to work or going to work out, we have to realize, hey, I'm doing this because I want to invest into my hobby, into my niche that makes me feel better mentally. So when we feel better mentally, we'll start to feel better about ourselves physically and want to take care of ourselves physically. Me personally, I love working out because I love the effects from it. I love not so much looking like the comic book characters, but just the fact of, you know, it helps me think better. It helps me feel better about myself. um, yeah, that's really it. I don't think people. I think when people look at nerds or look at people that read comic books, I think that they think everything is just in a comic book world. It's not that. It's just the fact that, you know, some of us have been through traumatic experiences and we want to, you know, we're not so much distract ourselves, but we're trying to distract the fact that, you know, we're trying to make peace with what happened. And the one way to make peace with that is seeing it in from a different point of view, you know, letting go of grudges, letting go of that hate. You know, a lot of characters that I read, you know, they've been through things like Iron Man. He was an alcoholic for a long time until um, he realized that he can use his suit of armor for good. So there are a different bunch. There's a bunch of different avenues that we could walk down towards and explore. Mine just happened to be comic books and superheroes, and, you know, on occasions wrestling. I do enjoy watching wrestling, um, but that's just me. It can transform into anything for anybody else. Um, that's really all I have for today. You know, I start my new job today at Amazon, so, you know, hopefully I'll have, you know, more content for you. And other than that, I just want everybody to be inspired. Um, don't forget to dive within yourself and figure out what your hobby is, because everybody needs a hobby to, you know, take their mind off the day, take their mind off of, you know, this everyday struggle that we have. But other than that, I would like for everybody to just be inspired. Don't let the trauma eat you alive. Take it for what it is, and, you know, find you something to that is conducive to your mental health and focus on that. And don't let anybody tell you that, oh yeah, you know, it's stupid or that's dumb, because it's not. You know, everybody has what they want to do, and we have what we want to do. But other than that, thank you all for tuning into the No Limit Zay channel. Like, subscribe, comment. I'm gonna try to upload more videos. Like I said, I started my new job this week, so I don't know how many times I'll be able to upload, but I will be uploading this, going ahead and uploading this, and I hope you all enjoy, and I hope you all stay safe. Peace.